Hey guys, Fat Man's here. Looking to install a scope. So, we got the tools laid out here. We got a level. This is how I do it. It ain't perfect, but it works. I haven't had a problem yet. Got the hex key for my scope rings. These are they call them a medium profile. I think they're kind of a low profile weaver ring. They're not a real expensive ring. And this is a Cabela's Pine Ridge rimfire technical scope. The turrets are interchangeable they are marked with windage and elevation and all that happiness. This happens to be for 17 HMR. I set my scopes for about 50 yards on my 22s, and that's usually pretty good. I did make a little modification. These turrets, hopefully you'll be able to see this okay. These turrets don't lock down. There's no way to lock them. Usually some of them you can lift up and they'll unlock, but they'll lock in. These don't. So they really turn pretty easy. What I've done is I run a little screw in there, and then I'll get set screws when I have the opportunity. It's a little 4x40 screw, so it's really tiny. But I drilled and tapped it, run that little screw in there, and that will, if I can get thumb screws, it'd be even better yet, because then I can just have thumb screws in there. But that will, excuse me, that will lock down my turret with just a little snugging. It doesn't even need to be that tight. So that's my idea, my own little mod there. I did it on both turrets for windage and elevation. This is a variable scope from 3 to 9 power. It's a 3 to 9 with a 40mm objective. These came with it. I don't know, don't really care for them, but any other thing that I put on there is going to be, at a different time. I'm not going to do that right now. One problem that I had when I was looking at this, to mount this on the Savage 64, is the rear sight is going to be in the way. You saw me pop the sight out of my Glenfield. Same exact thing here. So I'm not going to trouble you with that. I don't know if I'm going to try to find a different position so you can get a better look at this. Probably going to leave it right where it's at. Anyway, so we need a level. So we can level the scope rings. You'll see how I do all that. And my white towels aren't so white anymore. Just because they just get dirty when you start spilling stuff. So I'm going to take this. Oh, it's clear. Pull the magazine out. And I'm going to go right here. And just drift this out. Elevator out. And we'll just give her a couple of taps. Hard to tell sometimes if you're going the right way with it. Usually they don't take much. But if they Loctite it, now you will need to use a steel hammer to get that little jar. There we go. So, we'll just pop that rear sight out. Sometimes with the difference between the steel and the rubber mallet is the rubber will absorb shock. And when you're trying to knock something loose that's been Loctited in, you need that little jarring effect to get it loose. Now I'll take my sight and it'll go into a bag. especially because this is a new rifle, or nearly. So I'll set this in my rack here. With my rings, I like to have the stud, the screw, facing away from your bolt handle. The bolt handle is on the right side of the rifle. I want that screw facing towards the left. My safety is on that side. Generally speaking, I have to run my rear ring back quite a ways. Because when I sight in and stuff, sometimes I don't have my glasses on, sometimes I do. But when I'm out in the woods, I have my glasses on. At least until I can, thinking about getting that LASIK. So, I'm just going to put the ring on. And just to get a rough idea where the other ring is going to go, I'm just kind of going to set it on here, just like this. It looks like we're going to go right in front of where the bolt handle is at this point. Now there's a lot of things that are going to make a difference. Now these rings are aluminum, so I'm not getting super, I'm not using my Hulk strength here, because that'd really make a mess. Now, get the tops off them. I haven't figured out a good way to do this yet. So you're getting what I like to call is my best shot. The problem that I will usually run into is that I can't keep it level. Not very on the level here. But what I'll do is now I'll take my level and I'll set it on the ring, and I'll move the gun until it'll sit where the bubble stays centered in the level. And I'll check it on both rings. And they're off. They're going to be good enough for what we're doing. Yeah, the amount of difference there is not enough that I'm going to worry about it, because I'll usually have to rotate them a little more anyway. I'm just going to pull these covers off. Set the scope, just kind of center the turrets between the rings for now, and then I'm going to set my level on top of the big turret. Now they make, there's special tools for mounting scopes and stuff. I don't happen to have any of that because I don't do a lot of it. And I don't plan on doing a lot of it. I do my own thing. Seems to work. I'm not going to lap any scope rings, or I'm not dealing with high precision rifle here. This is a squirrel rifle. Squirrels and bunnies. Maybe just a little bit of fun on the side. When you tighten it down, you kind of want to tighten it down pretty even. And I'm not going to get in here with a micrometer and measure. I want to feel for my gap. Just make sure that I have a gap on both sides. These are 1-inch rings, so this is a 1-inch scope. It's a nice, seems to be a pretty nice scope. I can't, vouch for it and say for sure that it's going to be this awesome scope. I'm pretty much done with that anyway. So you tighten them down, tighten your rings down slowly. You will, if you're looking through the scope, you can watch, if you're tightening it down unevenly, you can watch your crosshairs move. Now, I was kind of brought up using Kentucky windage more than anything. Yeah, and this ain't exactly what you call the great level either. I used to use this for leveling security cabinets. And I only did it because it was magnetic, so it would stick to the side of the cabinet and I could level it. And, you know, good, my boss would be happy. Now I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to look through it, shoulder it, and look through it. And you want to, I know you can't see me, but you want to grab it kind of natural. And I know now that I need this, the way that, you know, I looked through the reticle, and I haven't focused it, but looking through it, I need to move the scope back a little bit. So I'm going to do that, and it also needs to turn a little. So the level will get you in there close. But every time you put it up to your shoulder, everybody's shoulders are rifled differently. So it's tough to say exactly, you know, if it's a rifle that you're using to freehand, is going to be different than a bench rest rifle. A bench rest rifle, you're going to want, you know, you're going to level your rest, you're going to level everything. Oh, God, I can't get left alone. It's probably just an email saying my paracord shipped or something, I don't know. I ordered paracord last night. We'll shoulder it again. Set it down, bring it back up. Yep. Aside from, I'm a hair off. This is this is a hair that if I tighten the two screws on the left side of the scope at quarter turn, that can bring it back for me. I think I moved it back just a little bit too far. I just want this. Just a hair farther over. Now, check that again. That was a hair too far. So this can, you know, it can get a little monotonous, but it is what it is. And it's a very small adjustment, makes a really big difference. I think we're pretty good there. So I'm just gonna give a little extra snuggage here. really most rifles are going to be the same kind of deal. Shotguns, I did a video on my 835, mounting a scope on that. I was hoping to do some deer hunting, never got to doing that. I've never been deer hunting, so I kind of need somebody to bring me along and show me the ropes. And hopefully I can be a deer hunter. Now, where that rear sight is, or was, you can see how close that came out, right? I mean, it's so close to the barrel that I'm betting if I look through the scope, nope, I can't see that front sight, which is good, but we're really, really tight against the barrel, which is a good thing. My cover, by the time I put my cover on, it's almost touching the barrel. Can you see that? So, there is that. But that's, there ain't much more to that. The next step would be to bore sight it. And I think I will make that just a separate video in and of itself. So, with that said, I hope everybody stays safe. God bless. If there's you got any questions about how I do this, you know, a professional is going to do this differently. But this is how I do things. I do them a little different than a lot of people. I make do with a lot of the stuff that I have. I picked up this scope for 30 bucks. And it was a regular $100 and some scope. So I thought I did pretty well. With that said, stay safe, God bless, and we'll get with you in the next video. Thanks for watching.